Hello students, we are again back with another video for Biology class 9. In this video, we'll be studying about Golgi apparatus, which is also known as the post office of the cell or the packaging and the dispatch unit of the cell. So, we will be discussing the function, structure, discovery and other details of the Golgi apparatus. And by the end of the video, we'll come to know why Golgi apparatus is known to be the post office of the cell. So, let us start. So let us first of all see what Golgi apparatus is. So this Golgi apparatus, which is also known as Golgi complex or Golgi body, or sometimes it is also known as Golgi, is an organelle which is found in most of the eukaryotic cells, and it is the part of the endomembrane system present in the cytoplasm. It packages proteins into membrane-bound vesicles inside the cell before the vesicles are sent to their destination. And it resides at the intersection of the secretory, lysosomal and endocytic pathway. You can understand the location of the Golgi apparatus with the help of this figure. You can see where it is located. You can see that Golgi apparatus is present here. Moving on. So first point that we'll be discussing in this video is about the discovery of the Golgi apparatus. So this Golgi apparatus was first of all observed by a scientist whose name is George. But he just observed this Golgi apparatus. The morphological structure of Golgi body was observed by Camillo Golgi in the nerve cells of cat. So George observed this Golgi apparatus, but the morphological structure of the Golgi was observed by Camillo Golgi. In which organism? In the nerve cells of cat. Now, the ultrastructure which we study, which is the electron microscopic model, was given by Dalton. And due to this fact, the Golgi complex is also sometimes known as Dalton's complex. So this is about the discovery of the cell organelle. Now we'll be moving on. So next we'll be talking about the size of the Golgi apparatus. So apparently we know that the function of the Golgi apparatus is to secrete proteins. So obviously the function of the Golgi apparatus or the size of the Golgi apparatus depends on the function of the cell. If the cell has more secretory functions, the size of the Golgi apparatus will be bigger. If the cell has less secretory functions, or if it is a non-secretory cell, so the size of the Golgi apparatus will be smaller. For example, if we talk about liver cells and pancreatic cells, so they have more secretory functions. So the size of the Golgi apparatus in such cells is bigger. Whereas the size of Golgi body in non-secretory cells such as muscle cells, the size of this organelle is comparatively smaller. So we have seen that the size of the Golgi apparatus depends on the function, and it is of course variable from one cell to another. Moving on. So next we'll talk about the number of the Golgi apparatus. So the number of the Golgi apparatus is also variable. So in animals, if we talk about animals, or if we just categorize it into vertebrates and invertebrates, so the number of Golgi complex in vertebrate is 1 Golgi per cell. It is variable in plants. It differs from one plant to another. Lower green algae contain only 1 Golgi complex per cell, whereas if I give you example of a cell, that is rhizoidal cells of Cara, so it has almost 100 Golgi per cell. Understood, students? So here again we can conclude that as we have seen about size, so the number of the Golgi complex is also completely variable. Okay, moving on. So next we'll be talking about the position of the Golgi complex, where it is present in the cell. So if we talk about vertebrates, so we have seen that in vertebrates only 1 Golgi complex is present. So the single Golgi complex that is present in the animal cell is present closer to the nucleus, which is also known as perinuclear. Since it is closer to the nucleus, so it is also known as perinuclear. In invertebrates and plant cells, we have seen that more than one nucleus might be present. So these Golgi apparatus are present in the, or we can say it is scattered in the cytoplasm, and such Golgi apparatus is said to be diffused. So in animal cells it is perinuclear, whereas in plant cells and in invertebrates it is diffused. Understood? So again, here also position is also variable in different types of cells. Now next, also one more point to be noted here is that around this organelle, that is around Golgi complex, always there is a crystal clear area where no organelles are present, and this area is known as zone of exclusion. So students, next we'll be talking about the shape and the structure of the Golgi apparatus. So we have already seen that the ultrastructure was given by Dalton, and hence it is also known as Dalton's complex. Now Golgi complex is known to be pleomorphic in nature. Why? Because the shape or the structure of the Golgi complex depends on the function. Okay, function of what? Of the Golgi complex. So this Golgi complex can be divided into three elements. First one is the cisternae, which is tube or sac-like structures. Next we have vacuoles, which are spherical in nature or shape. Next we have vesicles. Last one is vesicles. Now vacuoles and vesicles both are spherical, but the difference is in the size. Vacuoles are larger, whereas the vesicles are smaller. Next, let us see the structure in detail. We have already seen that three elements are present. So let us study these three elements here with the help of this diagram. So here you can see that we have tube-like structures or sac-like structures. So you can see that they are not straight, but these are curved. So these tube-like structures are only known as what we have seen in the previous section, that is cisternae. So you can see that number of cisternaes are stacked one over the other, forming the Golgi complex. So you can see here that number of cisternaes are stacked one over the other. So this is cisternae. Next, also these cisternaes are connected to each other. Okay, so that the protein that is entering or exiting can pass through it. So there are connections between the cisternae, which is not shown over here in this diagram. So next we have vesicles and we have vacuoles. So they are both spherical. So you can see here they are spherical. So these are the three different elements of Golgi complex. One more point to be noted here is that you can see that the cisternaes are bulging at the ends. You can see that every cisternae is bulging at the end on both the sides. This side also and this side also. So these bulging ends of the cisternae are known as Golgian complex. It is not mentioned here, but these bulging ends are known as Golgian complex. So this is about the structure of the Golgi complex. One more thing to be noted here is about the polarity of the Golgi apparatus or Golgi complex. So we will see this polarity of Golgi complex in the next section. So let us just revise the points that we have already seen in the previous figure. So cisternae are tube-like structures which are curved and with swollen ends. The swollen ends are known as what? I have already told you, Golgi and vacuole. Cisternae are stacked one over the other and they are also connected to each other. Vacuoles and vesicles are both spherical in shape, but vacuoles are larger than the vesicles. So this is what we have seen in the previous slide. Now let's move on. So now let us understand the polarity. I have told you that Golgi complex is polar or it has polarity. So you can see that if we talk about the structure of the Golgi complex, you can see that it has two faces. That is a concave face and a convex face. That is a cave-like face and a convex face. Okay, you can see that it always has this particular orientation. Okay, that is the concave face will always be facing the plasma membrane. Okay, it will always be towards the plasma membrane, and the convex face will always be facing the endoplasmic reticulum or the ER, or we can also say it will be facing the nucleus. So this is the polarity. Now let us understand this polarity and let us know different names of all these faces. Okay, so this concave phase is also known as trans phase or maturation phase. The concave phase is also known as trans phase or maturation phase. Whereas this side, the phase that is towards the endoplasmic reticulum is also known as cis phase or maturation phase. Why? Why is it known as, sorry, not maturation phase, it is also known as formative phase. Why? Let us see this. So we have already seen that it has two phases, concave and convex phase. The concave phase is also known as maturation phase or trans phase, whereas the convex is also known as formative or cis phase. The formative phase will always be towards the nucleus, whereas the maturation phase is always towards the plasma membrane. This is what I have already told to you. Now, let us again see this. Let me remove this. Okay, now you can see. So, why this phase, that is the phase towards the ER or endoplasmic reticulum, known as formative phase? It is because the proteins that are produced by the endoplasmic reticulum are transported or are sent to the Golgi apparatus from this phase only. That is from which phase? From the convex phase only. That's why it is known as formative phase. Whereas the final proteins which have to be sent to the destination are sent from this phase. That is from the concave phase, which is also known as maturation phase. That's why this phase is also known as maturation phase. I suppose you all have understood this. Same thing is written here in this slide also. That the phase that receives the proteins from ER, that is endoplasmic reticulum, is known as formative phase, whereas the phase that dispatches the final modified proteins is known as maturation phase. So this is about the polarity of the Golgi complex. So now we have seen about the structure, function, discovery, size, everything of the Golgi apparatus. The last thing that we are going to discuss about Golgi apparatus is the functions of the Golgi apparatus. So let us start. So Golgi vesicles are often referred to as the traffic police of the cell. They play a key role in sorting many of the cell's proteins and membrane constituents and in directing them to the proper destinations. So we know what is the role of the traffic police. So here the Golgi apparatus is also working in the same way, directing the proteins to their proper destinations. Now, to perform this function, the Golgi vesicles contain different sets of enzymes in different types of vesicles, cis, middle and transcisternae, that react with and modify secretory proteins passing through the Golgi lumen or membrane proteins and glycoproteins that are transiently in the Golgi membrane as they are en route to their final destination. So, here we have seen that the Golgi complex is divided into cis and trans and also middle part. So, different enzymes are located in different regions of the Golgi complex which are sending different proteins to their destinations. The Golgi apparatus hence acts as the assembly factory of the cell where the raw materials are directed to the Golgi apparatus before being passed out from the cell. So this is how the Golgi complex is working as a traffic police. So next, in animals, the Golgi apparatus is involved in the packaging and exocytosis of the following materials. What are these materials? Zymosin of exocrine pancreatic cells, mucus secretion by goblet cells of the intestine, lactoprotein secretion by mammary gland cells, secretion of compounds of thyroxine hormone by thyroid cells, secretion of tropocollagen and collagen, formation of melanin granules and pigments, and also formation of yolk and vitelline membrane of growing primary oocytes. So these are the different proteins which are being packaged and sent by the process of exocytosis. Next, it is also involved in the formation of certain cellular organelles such as plasma membrane, lysosomes, acrosome of spermatozoa, and cortical granules of a variety of oocytes. Next, they are also involved in the transport of lipid molecules around the cell. The Golgi complex also plays an important role in the production of proteoglycans. The proteoglycans are molecules that are present in the extracellular matrix of the animal cells. Then it is also a major site of synthesis of carbohydrates. These carbohydrates include the synthesis of glycosaminoglycans. Golgi attaches to these polysaccharides which then attaches to a protein produced in the endoplasmic reticulum to form proteoglycans. I suppose you have studied about proteoglycans. So these proteoglycans are also produced where in the Golgi apparatus only. The Golgi involves in the sulfation process of certain molecules, that is sulfate groups are also added to certain molecules where in the Golgi apparatus only. And the process of phosphorylation of molecules by the Golgi requires the import of ATP into the lumen of the Golgi. So this ATP is also transported with the help of Golgi only. In plants, Golgi apparatus is mainly involved in the secretion of materials of primary and secondary cell walls, that is, formation and export of glycoproteins, lipids, pectins and monomers for hemicellulose, cellulose and lignin. We know that the plant cell wall is divided into different layers, primary, secondary, and then we also have middle lamella. So all these have different composition. These are made of different constituents. Some are homopolysaccharides, some are heteropolysaccharides, and all these are secreted by Golgi apparatus only. So students, this is all for the Golgi apparatus in this video. So I suppose we have studied we have discussed all the different points that are related to Golgi apparatus. So this is all for this video, students. I suppose you all have understood everything about the Golgi apparatus. Thank you so much.